Hello everyone and welcome back to Sane Minds. Now I know all week you've been getting news reporters reporting this story exactly like this.
Meantime, a Kentucky high school is facing strong backlash today after videos surfaced showing students mocking a Native American elder. Take a look. The incident happened Friday during the Indigenous Peoples March in Washington. The teens have been identified as students from Covington Catholic High School in Kentucky. The teens can be seen here jeering and chanting, while one of them, seen wearing a Make America Great Again hat, stares at the elder who is drumming. The elder is from the Omaha tribe and is also a Vietnam veteran. He spoke out about the incident.
I was there singing, and I heard them saying, "Build that wall, build that wall." You know, I wish I could see that energy of the young mass, the young men, to do, put that energy into, making this country really, really great. Helping those that are hungry.
So the students' school and the Diocese of Covington say the matter is now under investigation, and they have promised appropriate action against the students in that video, up to and including expulsion.
So that's basically been presented completely opposite of what really happened there. As you could see, Nathan Phillips was beating the drum in Nick Sandmann's face. And he's clearly uncomfortable. You can see him flinch almost every single time when he's smacking the drum there. I mean, obviously nobody would like to have a drum placed not but an inch from their face and someone beat it. I mean, how is that going to diffuse any tension, which was what the Native American guy was saying that he was trying to do. That was his purpose. Well, actually he changes his motives a little bit or goes back and forth between a couple. That's not the only reason why he said he did it. So Phillips, who's an activist described by the Indian County Today website as an Omaha elder and a veteran, which the media also falsely reported he was a Vietnam veteran, when in fact he served no time in Vietnam. He was in the military, yes, the Marines, but he is not a Vietnam veteran. And he tried to say that he heard people saying, "Build that wall," or chanting, "Go back to the reservation," which in video I'll show you in just a moment. There's actually one of the Native Americans that are with Phillips is telling the white people, the MAGA kids, to go back to Europe, that this is not their land. They're being racist against them. And that's not even to mention the black Israelites, who started pretty much the whole thing, where they were at first mocking the Native Americans and their march and their deal there, and then they quickly turned their attentions to the MAGA kids that were waiting for a bus to get done with their school trip. So it's just crazy how the media spin the entire thing around, gave you a heavily edited, the entire encounter is about 2 hours long on video, and they gave you 1 minute and basically one photo, which was being circulated by all mainstream medias that are liberal, and they were all running with basically the same picture of the kids sitting there smiling, trying to diffuse tension, is what he said as well, which I believe. He's not trying to tell the Native American to get out of his face, which I would have told Phillips to get out of my fucking face. I'm not going to sit there and let somebody just beat a drum right in my face. That's just ridiculous. How can Phillips even claim that he was trying to diffuse tension? Who in their right mind thinks that going into someone's personal space, beating a drum right in their face, is going to somehow calm down a group of people that he thought were going to attack or create some type of mob violence, is what he said. So he said that he heard people saying, "Build that wall," which again, there's no proof of that, but even if there were, okay, how is that even something against Native Americans? They're already here. So I don't get what "build that wall" would even mean towards them anyway. That's kind of a moot point. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So he said so what I said before about him changing his motive for why he approached the teens, which at first the media did not report that. They acted like it was the kids who surrounded the Native Americans which, you know, at one point they kind of curl around them just because they're such a large group and they wanted to get a look at what was going on. But they didn't surround them. There was actually plenty of liberals and the Black Israelites and other people that were definitely on the Native American side behind them with cameras, all trying to see what's going on. And they spun the story like crazy, trying to act like it was these kids' fault, when it wasn't at all. They were in their spot. They were waiting for their bus. These first, the Black Israelites were harassing them. Then this Native American guy, Phillips, who says that he's trying to calm the situation down, but he clearly didn't go after the antagonists. He went after the people that he thought he could get some virtue points off of, that where he could get, you know, a story on CNN written about him. He couldn't have done that if he went and stood up to the Black Israelites. And even then, who knows? Maybe the Black Israelites might have attacked him. Might have actually been that, you know, violent people that he's trying to say these Make America Great Again hat-wearing kids were. Kids. And the media, of course, demonizes them and tries to say that they're at blame. The media thinks that these kids, you know, that we'll never know exactly what happened, even though there's 2 hours of footage to kind of show you, but that the kids are also to blame, that they're not innocent. These kids still don't look great, which is ridiculous. These were the children in the situation, and they're trying to treat them like adults and say that they had just as much responsibility for the way that the situation went down, which they did not at all. But yeah, so Phillips said that he was going to ascend to the Lincoln statue and pray for our country at one point, and that some students wouldn't back off, which in video you could see that he had plenty of room to walk around Nick, the kid who was smirking, as the media put it, you know, committing a face crime. That he was, you know, that his smirk was deadly and dangerous and just disrespectful, and somehow that equals racism because reasons.
You want you to go back to Europe where you came from. This is not your land. No, it's not. You've been here for 3 generations. Compared to us, we've been here a million fucking years.
Ain't gonna be no peace until blood is shed. Because you gotta give up this land that's stolen.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
America will be great again.
Young Klansman,
Go ahead.
look at your clothes.
Christ is coming back to kick y'all red asses. That's where Christ is coming. Christ is coming back to kick your crackers' asses.
Look at their ass, Israel. They ass gone off of that. Look at that mob of these dirty animals. They gone.
All right, so there's just a few clips of the Black Israelites' harassment towards these kids. I mean, they want to act like they're school shooters. They are just scum, you know? You heard them say it there, that these people basically aren't humans. They're animals. And this is the stuff that the kids had to deal with. And the media makes almost no mention about this. If anything, they try and victimize this group and act like they were the ones being harassed by the MAGA kids, that the Native American Phillips, you know, saw this, that this was going to be some big mob action and came to their rescue because these were just some upstanding black gentlemen preaching the Bible. When in reality, the Israelites, the Black Israelites, are a hate group. They are a hate group, and they're identified by that by many other watch groups. They are racist, and they're just wannabes, really. They're conspiracy theorists. But this is what really happened there. And the media didn't want to show you any of this, but a 1-minute clip that was heavily, you know, redacted, that was not the full story at all. It showed a very close-up view of something, and something that if you saw without any narrative behind it, you might have made a completely different judgment on. You might have said, wow, okay, there's someone beating a drum in a kid's face, but what does that mean? But of course the media gave you the story behind it, that these kids were racist, these kids were disrespectful, and that they surrounded this poor old man. That's not what happened at all. And as you could hear, the Native Americans, besides Philip coming into this person's personal space and somehow thinking that's going to calm the situation by beating a drum in his face. You had one of his entourage there screaming back that, the white people don't belong here. This isn't your land. Go back to Europe. So it's really ridiculous to see Phillips cry and try and play a victim when he's anything but here. So let's go ahead and see Nick here in his own words and defend his actions. He had an interview with it today.
As far as standing there, I had every right to do so. My position is that I was not disrespectful to Mr. Phillips. I respect him. I'd like to talk to him. In hindsight, I wish we could have walked away and avoided the whole thing, but I can't say that I'm sorry for listening to him and standing there.
That's how the Lord is coming. Your white Jesus is not in the Bible.
Listen, it ain't got nothing to do with that. Nah, it's a keep your personal space ground. Man.
You want to wave high? A bunch of incest babies. A bunch of babies made out of incest.
Hey.
So some of the media after this event, when more footage came out and people started to actually see the truth, some media organizations actually did backtrack, and even some apologized. But there's other media organizations out there like Vox, if you really want to even call that a real news organization. It's more like a gossip, but it's something that a lot of liberals turn to. More and more I see people quoting Vox and using it as a citation. But they're trying to still put blame on these kids. They can't just admit that they were wrong, that they made the wrong call, didn't have enough information about what was going on, just saw something that would confirm their bias. That people who wear the Make America Great Again hats, which support our current president, are racist, disgusting, vile human beings, even as children. That's what they tried to portray. That these students were wrong in every sense, and even their own school, at the top at least, did not defend them right away. Before all the facts were out, they were talking expulsion. Now, obviously, the school has backtracked once parents got involved and people really found out the truth of the situation. But that doesn't excuse it. They should have at least waited until the full story was out before trying to make a statement. But instead, they were scared. They were worried that if they didn't react fast enough, the liberal mobs would get them. And that's really what's wrong with society today. This online mob backlash. This, people just get outrageous. They harass you, they shame you, they try and make you lose your jobs, try and make you lose your futures. There was celebrity after celebrity calling to dox these boys, find out their names, find out where they were, offering rewards such as blowjobs or albums if they can beat these kids up and videotape it, or punch, Nick in the nuts. This is the people of the world that are people liberals are listening to. People that are trying to say violence is the way to go. If I disagree with you, I will get violent and I will encourage others to do violence. These kids have had death threats. The school was threatened to be blown up. People talked about locking them in a church or in their school and burning it all down. I mean, this is something that, even if it were true, even if these kids did mock this Native American in some way or surrounded him, did they beat him up? Did they even touch the guy? No. Why would you try and say that violence is the way to go for children? And that really just shows their true colors on the left today. Just how far left they've come. there's no moderates there anymore, at least not on the vocal point. They're not leading the way. There might be moderates in the tail end that are still just hanging on, hoping that it can come back to where it used to be, but the ones who have the wheel are definitely to the far left. They're the ones I'd rather keep a shutdown than concede a small portion of that funding bill to help secure our border. Something which the left usually has no qualms about. They will give you money in Jordan to build a border wall in your country there, but not when it comes to the United States of America. But all right, everybody, thank you for listening. If you'd like some new content, just go ahead and like, comment, or subscribe. If you comment down below, I'll try and get to everyone's. Go back and forth with you. I love debating. I love talking to people and engaging here on YouTube. So I really do appreciate it. And as always, I'll see you next time.